Hello and welcome to the National Futsal Series live from the Beacon of Light Sports Centre here in Sunderland. And here for you we have an extra game in the Sunday's schedule, and it's our hosts Sunderland University who face Manchester's B team. Well, the two teams then out onto the court here at the Beacon of Light, and let's see those two team lineups. So here is the Sunderland side. Phil Codd is the starting goalkeeper. Scott Gunn, Alex Santiago, Adam Richmond and Lewis Cann make up the rest of their starting lineup. The substitutes are Patrick Crombie, Riley Moore, Sammy Friedrich, Liam Dutton, Alex Bentley and the player coach Tony Loftus. Well, for Manchester, it's a very young squad, as you might expect, their development side. James Kay is the starting goalkeeper for them. Matty Barton, Cameron Hacking, Fabrizio Da Silva and Aaron Logan make up the rest of their starting team. On the substitutes bench, Thomas Lindsay, Noah Lucas, Harry Lamakin Rogers, Alex Edmond, Jake Barnes and Matthias Luna. Ryan Williams is named as the head coach, and Sam Richardson also here to oversee proceedings for Manchester today. Matty Barton, there the Manchester captain, and Scott Gunn with the armband on for Sunderland. Your referees are Tim Sadler and John Laws, as the two teams just undergo their final pre-match preparations. Once again, alongside me for this one is Louis Melville. Louis, what are you expecting from this game? It's a bit of a difficult one to call, but hopefully there'll be another entertaining one out there.
Well, good afternoon everyone. Well, you look at the table, Derby currently on top position. Manchester know they can draw level if they win this game. Sunderland in fourth position, but just looking at the goals scored, Manchester have scored 66 goals in their 11 games and Sunderland have scored 72. So there definitely seems to be lots of goals in both these teams, and maybe that's what we might get this afternoon, a bit of a goal fest. Let's hope so, and we're going to see some entertainment. There's some young players out there. I'm definitely feeling my age in this game, but hopefully we'll see some really open attacking futsal. We know Manchester like to be on the front foot, so let's see if this replicated in their B team.
Underway then, and it is Manchester who get the ball rolling. It's game 3 of 5 in this action-packed full schedule for you. Logan there plays that one back to Cameron Hacking, and across to Fabrizio Da Silva on the near side, one of a few players in the Manchester squad who have been on the outskirts of the Manchester team, first team, and of course Jake Barnes as well, still eligible to be involved with the Manchester B team setup. It's a nice wall pass, it's back around the corner there to Logan. Sunderland kick it.
Well, I think what's really apparent from the first 45 seconds or so is that the B team set up very similar in possession to their first team, the 4-0, really prevalent there. And I expect Manchester to play as a really well-coached team, even though they've got lots of young players. I spoke to Sam Richardson yesterday, which I mentioned in our main commentary game, and he said there's very much a family feel about the club. We get to do things together. We make sure we do stuff away from the court, so there's a strong bond between all the players, especially with the younger players.
Da Silva there on the end of the parallel ball from Aaron Logan, and it's out and behind for the game's first corner. Manchester then with this set-piece opportunity. Da Silva takes it all the way back to the captain Barton. That one sent back to the goalkeeper Kay, who was on the substitutes bench for the first team earlier today. As were Fabrizio Da Silva and Harry Lamakin Rogers as well, but none of those were given any on-court minutes in what was a really tightly fought fixture, with the top two drawing 2-2 if you missed it earlier on. Bloomsbury still at the top of the table after that all-square draw with Manchester's first team. Santiago here looking to burst away, and Santiago got the shot away as well. It's wide of the near post.
Santiago there showed some good pace to get away, managed to get the shot off, but a difficult angle there. And I think the goalkeeper had that near post covered anyway.
Kay then resumes, it's short for Barton. Silva across from right to left. Here is Aaron Logan. Manchester with the early possession at the moment. Silva steps inside. It's back across, looking for De Silva again.
Good confidence from De Silva there, offering himself up for the ball. And I think that's really encouraging, especially in young players. Futsal's a game where you can't hide on the court, and he's definitely offering himself up as an option whenever it's possible.
New ball just being called for there, as this corner is to be taken for Manchester. It's taken all the way back to Barton. Wasn't too far up above the crossbar of Phil Codd, but it was always rising. He's looked to be going over.
Good little setup for Manchester B there. They got the three in line down the side and the run inside to allow the shot to be taken.
Out of play that time from Santiago, wasn't able to find the pass, and Manchester have the ball back. De Silva tried to advance forward down wide left. He was halted though. De Silva again. Forward looking for Richard De Silva once more, but it's all the way back through to Codd. He rolls it short out to Alex Santiago. Relatively slow start in the opening 3 minutes. It hasn't exactly exploded into life, but Manchester have just edged things so far. It's Sunderland there with the ball across from left to right. It was too far ahead of Lewis Can was. De Silva there held up by Adam Richmond. Nice block there played by Hacking, but De Silva's given the ball away, and Sunderland might be away. Two options to the right there, with both runs of Lewis Can and Adam Richmond, but neither of those two were found.
That was good defending there by Matty Barton there, just keeping the opponent in front of him, blocking the angle off.
Trying to find that bottom corner there was Lewis Can, and not too far away from picking it out. Some promising signs for the University of Sunderland.
Sunderland look just happy to just sort of set up just in front of that halfway line and not gamble too much in terms of the pressure. And picking their moments when to press, but they've allowed that to happen.
Yeah, Hacking has it there, but only momentarily, as he was halted in his progression by Can. Barton forward, but out of play, and that will be the cue for Barton to be replaced after his first 4 minutes. can, up to Santiago. Sunderland still with their starting 5 out there on court at the moment. Richmond. Santiago up here to the captain, Gunn. Back to Santiago again, gets the shot at goal away, but it was never going to trouble Kate.
Sunderland just trying to use the court there, use the width of the court and move Manchester B around, and that opportunity, but the shot from was quite a distance out.
Jake Barnes on then for Manchester. Spoke about his quality earlier on today, and I wonder how influential he will be for Manchester's B team here. Gunn back to Santiago. Santiago went for the return pass to Scott Gunn, but that was cut out, and now Manchester might be away. It's given away though by Lamarck and Rogers, and it's 2v2 here for Sunderland if they can work it right. It was Richmond, but it was blocked before reaching Kay's goal. And a potential transition now for Manchester going the other way. It's Barnes. He looks to go around Phil Codd in the Sunderland goal. Codd did well though.
Yeah, it was a very good save because the ball ran kindly there for Jake Barnes, and he probably thought he was going to be in there, but Codd reacted really quickly, shut the space down and didn't give Jake Barnes the opportunity to lift the ball above him.
Fredrich. Santiago still on. Neat ball up there as well. Fredrich to the right, but opted to go alone there. Liam Dutton, and it's over the bar.
And a cute bit of play there by Alex Santiago in the fixed position there, the 7. He managed to find that diagonal lifted pass, and it literally took the whole Manchester team out of the play there.
Scott Gunn it was in the end of the effort, goal bound, not Liam Dutton, I beg your pardon, but it was always going over James Kay's bar. Barnes lofts that one forward there for the run of Matthias Luna. Trickles through though back to Codd. Luna, a player who's become more and more involved with the Manchester B team as the season has progressed, having began in the outskirts of the first team setup.
I think Jake Barnes was just asking for something a little bit earlier in the game there, for whether there was a foul or not, but the referee not having it.
Fredrich. Back there to Riley Moore, but the cross was Matthias Luna. Goal clearance. 7 minutes played now, and still neither side have been able to find the opening goal.
I think Sunderland have worked their way into the game, Isaac. I think they've definitely got a bit more control of it now, and it's very much an even game.
Barnes, who now has the number 9 shirt on his back, having worn 6 for the Tier 1 side earlier today. Nice footwork, and Barnes is available as well towards that second post. Good recovery to stop Luna providing that ball. That one goes back to Barnes, and he will take charge. Lindsay just, after losing the ball, they're committed the foul. It's the first of the game. Sunderland free kick.
Yeah, just trod on the ball, but probably quite cleverly stopping that attack there on the halfway line and committing the foul there.
Yeah, Riley Moore was the player on the receiving end. Here he is with the ball again. Moore always been dispossessed there though. Lamack and Rogers, there's an option to the left as well, but he couldn't quite find Lucas. You can see the frustration in the aftermath from Harry Lamack and Rogers. Decent opening. Barton up to Rogers. Cross to Barton again. Lamack and Rogers there though, just miscuing. Frederick that time unable to find a route through, and Manchester then with the ball once more. Lamack and Rogers tried to find the ball further down court. Does do that time, up to Barnes. Just had too much on for him to make meaningful contact with though. It was always going to only be sent out and behind. It's just a little cagey at the moment, both teams just somewhat cancelling each other out at this stage. That can all change in an instant though.
I think also something to consider is these teams are playing in front of the cameras and on the show court, and the court plays a little bit differently to probably the courts they're used to normally on the hard floors. So it's just adjusting to all of that and getting to grips with the circumstances. I think it's understandably there's going to be a few nerves in there.
Yeah, well, Manchester have given the ball away there. It might spell trouble for them. It's Sunderland come back at them. That one looked as though it was running through to the goalkeeper, but it was taken out of the hands of Kay. Michael Rogers there dispossessed, and Sunderland have it back.
I think I've been really impressed by the Manchester B number 12 De Silva. He looks really capable on the ball, really confident, technically looks good, very positive.
Yeah, he's a player who has featured for their Tier 1 side, but only very sporadically. He's only had a very limited number of minutes. Taken short there from Barton.
But I can see why he would be involved with the first team, and they're looking at him, and I think he's certainly a player who's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, here he is in possession at the moment, toying with the Sunderland defence again. Hacking back to De Silva, lovely parallel ball, Hacking. Cod went flying across.
And again, there De Silva with the ball played out to him, and that little lifted parallel pass that opened up the play for them. Really clever. And again, we see him make that run again.
Just a bit of miscommunication that time, and it's back out of play on the near side for the Sunderland kick-in. There for Riley Moore to get on his bike after down the left flank, but he's always asking a lot. Hacking back to De Silva. Now Barton. way up, but Cod was alert to the presence of skipper Barton as he just tried to peel off in behind. Goalkeeping again. Gunn just assessing all options, then chose to go alone. Couldn't quite feed it up though to Moore. Now De Silva cuts it back, but nobody there.
That's great play by De Silva. Just his teammates couldn't keep up with him there, but again, just shows his ability there to get past the play and offer up that opportunity. Just didn't have the support.
Lofted there over the top for Santiago. He collects. Good firm challenge. Back to Cod. Flick ball there around the corner, but Manchester with all the time and space inside their own 20 metres of the court. Once again, the onus is on the Manchester B team to build and take the game to Sunderland. Giving it away there though. Ball over the top was meant for the run of Alex Santiago, but it never quite came through to him. 7.5 minutes left of this first half. It's still 0-0. Lofted long diagonal again, that time trying to get onto the end of it was Cameron Hacking. Cod dishes that one long, Santiago brings it down. Wrestling there with Aaron Logan, and just the kick in. No foul, the referee Tim Sadler had the situation right beneath his nose. That one was swept towards the back stick, but Manchester come away with possession. Second foul there has been added to the count by the timekeeper, which in Tier 2 is always provided by the home team. It wasn't given as a second foul, so that should still remain as just one against Sunderland. As I think the timeout card has gone in from the Manchester B substitutes bench. And they're going to take it here, I think, with the corner.
Yeah, I don't think that timeout was particularly planned around that corner, so with the time that's left, probably just wants to reiterate again some basic coaching points about what they're doing in possession. Chances have been few and far between, Isaac, so maybe it's concentrating at the final. We saw in the last couple of attacks the final ball wasn't quite the quality it needed to be to fashion a chance, but they have had a couple of decent chances, Manchester, but you know, taking a snapshot of what we've seen, Manchester look well organised, they've got some talent on the court. Sunderland having to work really hard to get any sort of chances at the moment. They've had a decent fair bit of possession as well, but not too much to show for it.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way at the moment, as the two sets of players will return back out onto the court. And just the one foul then in the half so far. That one has gone against Manchester, not Sunderland, as it is on the scoreboard at the moment, but the referee did see to that situation with the timekeeper. Manchester then will get the game going once more and restart from this corner. Out again for take two. Sunderland here set up in almost a 2-2, a box system in defending this corner. It's an aggressive style. All the way back here to Barnes, across to De Silva. Silva unleashes for goal, and it took a deflection on its way through as well. Made the save that a little bit more difficult for Cod.
think it actually took a deflection off Alex Santiago, so I think that was actually a really good save there from Phil Codd, because it took an awful spin off his leg.
Turned behind at the near post that time by Codd, with no chances being taken. Manchester corner this time from the far right side. Stays 0-0, but will the breakthrough goal be coming soon? That's a foul. They're given for the moving block as Matthias Luna obstructed his opponent. Santiago just prevented there from getting the pressure on the ball after the corner delivery, and the referee giving that one as the foul. Two fouls now against Manchester. Barnes has made a really good run off the ball here, but Codd again anticipated that one.
Yeah, I could see the intention there, but I don't think the angle was in his favour there. It always favoured the goalkeeper to come out there, Phil Codd's got quite a high line on that one. But the idea was good.
Yeah, highly experienced goalkeeper is Phil Codd. He's been around the block many years now. Logan disrupted by Santiago. Santiago got the kicking decision too. He took it quickly. Santiago on the end of the return ball back to him, but just wasn't able to keep it in play.
A bit of a let-off there for Manchester. They just switched off at that kick-in, and Santiago saw that and almost made them pay.
Barnes there fouled. It's going to be brought back for the Manchester free kick. In a fairly decent position. It's quite a long way out, but over on the right side, which would favour many of their players. Comes across here and it's allowed to run through to Barnes. Barnes tried to pick the pass. It's ultimately set the counter-attack up here for Sunderland. Twisting and turning and getting the shot away, Lewis can, but it was blocked very close to him.
This is a promising situation for Sunderland to see if they can exploit a set-piece opportunity here.
Santiago. Gunn will go for goal, but wasn't able to beat James Kay. Manchester just inviting the high Sunderland pressure as the university team look to step up the press. They get their rewards from it there as well. Santiago was forced to check back. It's a better spell of possession this though for the home side. Back again across to Santiago. Frodrich with the ball out over to the left. Has that stayed in play? No. Just a judge to have crossed the far side touchline, much to the disappointment there of Matthias Luna, who felt that he kept that one in. It was difficult to see from here. The referee had a good position to make the call. Barnes there, quick on the close down. Well, no goals here so far, but there were plenty of goals the last time these two teams met. 6-4. Manchester's B team won on that occasion, their previous league meeting. Just wonder whether it will be a case of find the first and then the floodgates open from there. It's not collected, and this is promising now for Sunderland. Back across the face of goal, but just too far ahead as it was sent back across by Lewis Can. It was Manchester playing themselves into trouble.
It took the unfortunate deflection, but a good run by Can on the outside. Did everything right, and it just took a slight deflection.
There in the end, it just ran too far ahead of the skipper, Scott Gunn. Not far away from where he was, though. Barnes plays the return pass and sent Alex Edmond away there. Wasn't able to provide the finish that time, Edmond, but it was a nice link up between the two.
Yeah, well, I think we mentioned the last time we were on there about two-player combinations, how important they are, and we saw that wall pass there. Just didn't quite have the finish.
Barnes. Twisting and turning there, Jake Barnes. It's back with the Manchester number 9. Well, one of the players out there on court at the moment be able to provide this game with the spark that it seems to so desperately need. Short for Barnes, but blocked away again. Stood firm there, Riley Moore. Both of these two teams did win their last league fixture going into this game. It was a convincing victory for Sunderland against rock bottom Trent Valley. For Manchester, you would imagine they would be full of confidence as well, having beaten top of the table Derby 6-5. It's a strong challenge there from Dutton.
Good pressure from Sunderland there on that corner just to force Manchester to be back, and a crucial challenge there to stop that move from Manchester.
Lindsay has a bit of space here. It's still Lindsay around the goalkeeper, but it's wide of the near post. Half-hearted appeals for a penalty kick, perhaps.
I think this ball just goes behind him as it gets played in. It's just behind him and he can't get it out in front of him.
Yeah, it's just a coming together in the end, a tangle of legs and nothing more. Nice return ball back there, and there's a player over on the near side. It's Richmond. Richmond back across. And somehow it evades all and goes out behind.
That's definitely Sunderland's best constructed move. They moved it well, moved it across the court, and then a really good ball in there. And I'm not quite sure how they didn't score there.
Yeah, I think it might have gone through the legs of, well, at least one, possibly both of the Sunderland men at the back stick. Agonisingly close there to the game's opening goal.
Yeah, that's definitely Sunderland's best bit of play in this half.
Manchester there winning the ball back. It's forward from Edmond, but only to Gunn. Michael Rogers there has given the ball away, and that might spell trouble. It's all across the face of goal, and it's put home. It's Adam Richmond. And Sunderland get the goal that they were looking for. The home side lead.
Yeah, just a turnover possession there from Manchester that's given that opportunity. Ball gets stolen and then just a really clever pass there to set up the goal scoring opportunity, which it puts away. And Manchester probably feel a little bit aggrieved that they're a goal down, but just a really decent bit of interception play there from Sunderland, and they see themselves in the lead.
Yeah, 1-0 to Sunderland then. It might get better for them here as well. There's nobody there. In the end, it was a misplaced pass, and maybe just didn't get his head up in time before opting for that pass, Scott Gunn. But a 19th minute strike then from Adam Richmond. And that's the difference between the two outfits at this juncture. And Sunderland now trying to get into half-time with their slender 1-goal lead still intact.
So on that goal, there's also that pass from Liam Ditton. It was really clever pass inside. He drew the player out and then disguised his intention and got the pass through. So yeah, well done to Sunderland in that phase of play.
A long ball there, it's allowed to bounce all the way out for the deep-lying Manchester B team kicking. First sign here then that James Kay is going to step forward and be involved in possession, but I think he's quickly going to go back to the regular goalkeeping position, and Manchester will build again 4v4. Is there another opportunity then left in this one before the half is up? De Silva palmed away by the two hands of Cod. Barton worked the angle to deliver that one. It's still there for Manchester. Lamakin Rogers and Lucas in the aftermath. It's out of play though, and I think we might have lost a few seconds on the clock there. The timekeeper perhaps just unaware that the ball had in fact gone out. Final 5 seconds of the half as a snapshot is opted for. But that should be that then for this first period, Lou. In Sunderland, it looks as though we're going to have their 1-goal lead to take into half-time.
Yeah, I think Manchester be a little bit disappointed in the way they conceded the goal, but they took that chance really well, and Manchester got a bit of talking to do at half-time.
Well, they certainly have. Problems to solve then for Manchester, their B team, coached by Ryan Williams and Sam Richardson here today, overseeing things as well. But it's the first half which has gone the way of Sunderland, their university side. 1 to the good. The goal scored by Adam Richmond, and Tony Loftus will be pleased with that first half display. Half time, it's Sunderland University 1, Manchester B 0. Welcome back to the Beacon of Light Sports Centre here in Sunderland, and it's our home team in Sunderland University who are 1-0 to the good up against Manchester's development side, Manchester B. And with the goal in that first half, it was Adam Richmond. And well, Manchester, Louis, had their opportunities in that first half, but it's Sunderland who are ahead at the midway point.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how Manchester approach the start of the second half. You know, clearly a long way to go in this game, and no need to panic, but at some point they're going to need to start to force the game. And also, what are Sunderland's intentions at the start of this second half? How will they approach it?
Underway then, and back to the action. Manchester immediately pressing high to win the ball, but only momentarily as Sunderland look to break away with it. It's out there for the kicking, which is taken by Moore. This the third game of 5 being played at the Beacon of Light today. The ball back there for the effort on goal. It's Barton, and it was blocked on the line. But it was really important defending. Back there in the right place at the right time, the skipper Scott Gunn. Struck the shoulder of the captain in the end. Very close to an equalising goal.
Yep, nice little parallel pass down the side, sets it back, and a tremendous block on the line there. Very positive start from Manchester B.
Manchester here in possession again. Barton trying to work an avenue attack there, but couldn't. And Santiago now for Sunderland. Gunn, and there might be a bit of room there for him to feed the pass. It didn't in the end up with Fredrich.
Good out of possession there for Manchester. They lost the ball but got their fall back behind the ball very, very quickly and snuffed out that attack.
Gunn went down there. The referee on the far side was playing the advantage as Sunderland were allowed to advance. Set back there for the potential shot on goal as the rolling foul is now going to be indicated, and it's the first of the half. Sunderland resume then. Santiago. Neat touch away from the defender and into the back of the net. It's 2-0, and it's the skipper Scott Gunn who made that all-important block just a minute ago. And Gunn now on the score sheet to double Sunderland's lead.
Yeah, I think the error came from the challenge, went to win the ball but didn't make the tackle. And as you see here, tries to win the ball but doesn't make it. That's a critical error that sets up the goal scoring opportunity.
2-0 then. Sunderland now with distance between themselves and high flyers in Manchester's B team on the scoreboard at the moment. There you can see Phil Codd, he has at half-time been replaced between the sticks in goal. Patrick Crumble, the substitute goalkeeper, is on to replace him. It's miscontrolled there, but kept in play. I thought it had been kept in play to begin with. It must have just crossed the line in the end. The referee was right on top of it there, John Laws.
So, this will be a real test for Manchester's young side. 2-0 down. Have they got the resilience? Have they got the belief in the game plan to keep playing and try and create some chances?
Barton. No foul, just nudged off the ball there.
And to be fair to him, he didn't make anything of that, did he?
Yeah, there was no appeal from the Manchester B captain. Fredrich. More back to Fredrich, and it's into the corner again. It's 3-0 that Sunderland lead now, and 3 different scorers to Sammy Fredrich. Through the legs of the goalkeeper, and Sunderland now threatening to run away with it.
Yeah, well worked goal. Great pass inside, and then the finish there. Really good finish, hit it down, giving the goalkeeper no chance.
Yeah, well, it's not what you would perhaps have expected going into the game, but Sunderland here at home are 3 goals up. "13 points behind Manchester B team before this game started, and Manchester having played 1 game fewer. But it's Sunderland here who have the game in firm control. Barnes back on for Manchester. De Silva, neat skill, all the way across looking for Luna, but it was cut out there by Cromble.
Once again, De Silva being a big influence in the game.
Yeah, ever a threat from Richard De Silva, but didn't ultimately come to anything that time. Barnes here to Luna. Luna wants that one back, but it's blocked by Santiago and out for the kick-in.
I mean, despite the scoreline, and particularly if we've got people who are new to futsal, that, you know, 3-0 is not a huge scoreline, because that can change very, very quickly in the space of a minute.
Yeah, goals change games, and if Manchester can get one back and quickly, then that might just begin to plant the seeds of doubt in the minds of the Sunderland players. Who knows what might happen from there? It's Barnes who blocks that one away as the effort on goal was unleashed again from the captain.
You know, one of the things we try and tell our players at St Mary's is, you know, look at the scoreboard, and if we were 5-0 up, you know, think of add 2 goals onto the opposition score, then what does that look like? What does that feel like? So manage the scoreboard, but also manage yourself in the game. And that there's still, you know, 15 minutes plus to go. There's a lot of time in this game. The next game is critical for Manchester, and if they get that, then the pressure starts to ramp up on Sunderland. But the main thing here is Manchester must stay in this game. They can't allow Sunderland to get another goal.
De Silva away from the first pressure. Five minutes gone now since the second half restart, and Sunderland have found the net twice. Manchester corner, Sunderland with defending to do. Taken back there, but it was cut out by Moore, and just for a split second it looked as though it might be a 2v1 opportunity on the transition going forward there for Sunderland, but it didn't play out that way. Oh, Barnes, excellent skill past the first defender, and it's going to be brought back there for the foul. Oh, look at that again.
A good execution. Not sure that the foul's really needed. I think the covering defender possibly would have got there, but probably wasn't aware of that. Good steal.
Yeah, Gunnar was dispossessed by Fabrizio De Silva. Manchester will have to come again with Barnes out across onto that left side. Barnes couldn't find room that time. Takes the kick in though, back to De Silva. Barnes takes charge again, and back in Rogers over on the far left wing at the moment. De Silva that time was held up initially, but good recovery to send it back to the goalkeeper. Keeping away there, and possession picked up initially inside the centre circle by Adam Richmond. It's definitely been more even in terms of possession in this second half than it was in the first. Manchester dictated things in that first half, but they've got no goals to show for it, and Sunderland have now hit them 3 times and hit them hard on each occasion. It's clipped forward by Richmond. There's no teammate there. It stays 3-0 to Sunderland here then, and elsewhere in the National Futsal Series Tier 2 North today we've already had some results, with Leicester having beaten Liverpool by 5-4 this morning, and Trent Valley were beaten at home 10-5 by Sheffield. There's also another game ongoing at the moment. Derby are currently 2-1 down as that one's turned in. Adam Richmond with his second goal of the game. And Sunderland here really are in dreamland. 4 goals up. It's not been Manchester's day, but it's been a great day for Sunderland and Adam Richmond and the double.
This was all about Alex Santiago driving down the line, and then he stands it up beautifully for the far post finish.
Yeah, well, it looks as though Sunderland are going to win this one. It seems that way now. I was just mentioning the current scoreline between Derby and East Riding. East Riding there, Danny Clark's side, 2-1 up against the league leaders. So it looks as though at this stage, as it stands, the top 2 might both fall to defeat today in the Tier 2 North. Just running that one out of play there, Riley Moore, but there's not too much to be concerned about for Sunderland. Long diagonal ball there, but it wasn't controlled. And where Sunderland have been clinical, Manchester haven't.
It'll just be interesting to see in the next few minutes whether Manchester, Ryan and Sam will change anything in terms of setup, whether they'll risk going fly keeper just to see what will happen and develop out of that, or are they just going to continue with this approach and see if they can get something out of it.
Yeah, well, it feels as though something needs to change for Manchester. Let's see what that will be. Good challenge. Barton, oh, he might be in here. There's an opportunity there for Aaron Logan on the receiving end of Barton's pass, and Logan just unable to pick out that far corner. It was a mistake from Lewis Can, which opened up the opportunity for Logan. Just dragged the shot wide though. Santiago needs retrieving before going back to the goalkeeper. Can flicks it forward, but into touch. Moore has given the ball away there. It's Logan again, but back there on the recovery was Lewis Can.
And although Sunderland are 4-0 up, they can't afford to be complacent or take unnecessary risks, because even a goal here now, there's still a lot of time to go in this game and they could put themselves under unnecessary pressure. And you really want to take all hope away from Manchester at this time if you're Sunderland.
Alex Bentley now onto court, the number 3 for Sunderland, as his teammate Santiago was there taken to ground and fouled. Takes the second half foul count up to 2-1.
Did well to keep that alive.
Santiago will go for goal. And what an excellent strike that was. While there might be some questions over the goalkeeper's positioning, but Santiago finds the corner. An absolute rocket past James Kay in the Manchester net. That's 5. A really powerful strike. And Santiago, who's been the heart of many things that Sunderland have done well so far today, has his worthy goal.
Yeah, it was an excellent strike. Mentioned about the bit of play that kept the ball in play from Lewis Can, and that, you know, that was critical to that move staying alive. And Alex Santiago with an absolute rocket into the top right-hand corner.
Here he is in possession again, as we still have over 10 minutes of this game to go. And is it now just a case of how many for Sunderland as they look to try to add further goals? Santiago bursts away from the first challenge, tried to ride the second as well. Forward ball there, then back to Barton. And it's hooked away. It's a bit of a skewed clearance, but it did the job just about from Alex Bentley. Ball then placed in the corner quadrant. It's struck back for Barton, and well, over the top, high and wide in the end. You can see what Manchester were trying to work there from that corner routine.
Yeah, it was a well worked corner routine, as you said, Isaac. Just couldn't quite get round on the finish for it. Just came in at the wrong angle.
Lofted ball forward is headed back to centre court, and it's all the way back now with Kay. Diagonal option was chosen, but it's given the ball away, and that could spell trouble again. Over the top though from the right peg of Liam Dutton that time. Kicking for the away team as we look again at the replay of that latest opportunity. Went for the toe poked effort there, Dutton. Kay here is forward. Thought about perhaps retreating back, but remains in the attacking role. Hacking. Barton wanted that one back, but Dutton tracked him all the way. Dutton is forward into the attacking half now. He sets it back, and that's a foul. Barton with a clear trip.
Yeah, I think he needed to make that challenge there, because I think otherwise they had the overload on the other side, and that would have totally unbalanced Manchester defensively.
Santiago there checks back and sets it back as well, and coming in for the effort goal bound was Sammy Fredrich, looking for his second goal of the game now. But this then looks set to be the first time that Manchester B have lost a game in any capacity, league or cup, since back in November when they were beaten by York in the National Futsal Series Super Cup. In terms of the league games, they only lost one all season. That was the game prior to that when they were beaten by Derby. Turned away there by the right foot of Kay.
One of the things I think to bear in mind with Manchester B, it is their development team. So they've been competitive this season. The aim is to try and give these players meaningful match minutes and develop them as players for the first team.
That one's palmed more up than away, but Kay was afforded time to get back to his feet and then collect. Hacking, it's across the face of goal. Just too far ahead of Lucas.
And that's a good example there. That was good play, developing, and the ideas were right, just couldn't get on the end of the finish. And I think we need to applaud clubs that do this and give young players the opportunity to get these minutes. And what an opportunity for them live on TV as well.
Ball forward there was controlled on the chest, and Barnes resumes. Barnes collects again, that time from Lindsay, but only to recover now as Sunderland had the opportunity to maybe break again, but the ball in the end was behind Richmond. The twice scorer for Sunderland this afternoon. Well, maybe a diagonal pass was on there from Barnes, but he opted to go down the line instead. Swept across, it did take a touch, so it will be a corner. Sunderland perhaps though they're just a little rigid in their defensive setup from that fly goalkeeper, and as Manchester move the ball around from right to left and back into the centre, looks as though the diagonal option certainly could have been on for Barnes to execute. That was taken short, it's into the penalty area again. Once again Sunderland standing firm. Timeout here then called by Ryan Williams, the Manchester B head coach. Also provides an opportunity for Sunderland and their boss, Tony Loftus, to get the cavalry in, get some messages on board. They'll be really happy with how things have gone so far, Sunderland, not just the scoreline, which of course is now heavily in their favour, but also the performance that they've shown this afternoon too. Hasn't all gone their way this season, Sunderland, but it's been a very strong display this afternoon.
Yeah, Sunderland will probably be going into game management mode to try and see this out. They'll want the clean sheet, and so it'll be interesting to see how they approach it and what Ryan Williams can change up here. It looks like Sam Richardson has got like a fly keeper shirt in his hand, and I think we may well see this come in. So it's where they feel they're going to introduce it or not.
They're definitely readying the fly goalkeeper's top there, Sam Richardson.
I think possibly you might see Jake Barnes as the fly keeper at some stage, but they're going to use their original keeper at the moment.
Yeah, Kay's forward into the attacking half at this particular point of Manchester attack. Thiago very nearly gave the ball away there to De Silva, but Kay in the end was back in time for the long range effort on goal, as Barnes here will swap off to put that goalkeeper's top on. I think you're right, Lou. I think it is going to be Jake Barnes then to come on and do that job. But Manchester will need possession before they can set up in the 5v4 play goalkeeper system. Talking of goalkeepers, it's been a relatively quiet second half for Patrick Cromwell, having been introduced into the game at half time. It's probably about as quiet as he could have hoped for. I think Phil Codd, the first half Sunderland goalkeeper, had a lot more work to do than Cromwell has. It's not necessarily to say that Manchester haven't created opportunities in this second half, they just haven't hit the target with them. Barnes will dart back off.
That was good work there from Manchester B to try and force the pressure to make Sunderland go long and concede possession, and it allows them to reset the fly keeper.
You could see there what Manchester was trying to do, but it was far too high. The ball from Lemack and Rogers.
Yeah, I think actually Jake Barnes had just made that little run inside and offered up in the middle, and maybe that pass was on and a 1-2 was on there, but opted for the other option, and Sunderland have possession back.
So reset long in search of Canup as the pivot, but proves to be only a reset. Silva at the back, at the heart of things at the moment for Manchester, dictating the play.
Sunderland been quite aggressive on this press, just maybe 2 or 3 metres inside their own half, and some coaches might go a little bit deeper, sort of 10-12 metres out, but let's see how this develops.
Yeah, well, it's working well for Sunderland at the moment. Barnes. That's a good ball though, and there's an option here as well. It's cut back and towards goal from Lemack and Rogers. Well, they found a way through that time, Manchester's beating.
For me, the issue there is that when the front player is so high, that just allows that space. So if that isn't closed down quickly, it allows the 1-2 or the space in behind. And that's what Manchester B exploited there. We'll see what happens here. Quite aggressive.
Manchester get the ball back. It's the Mackin Rogers across to Lucas. They've given it away here though, and the net is left unguarded, and it's found as well. An excellent finish from Lewis Can. That's 6 now for Sunderland. And Can gets his name on the score sheet, in on the goal scoring act. Manchester made to pay for the error.
Yeah, good composure, didn't panic, picked his spot, and a good finish.
Yeah, it really was a good finish. It might look simple from there, but it's certainly far from it. That takes Manchester on to 5 fouls, and I think there's going to be a timeout called as well here. So Sunderland opting for their timeout minute, and Manchester move on to 5 fouls, with the potential for this one to become an even greater scoreline. And Sunderland maybe with the possibility of adding themselves even a couple more goals if they can draw the fouls and get the 10-metre penalties. Already today in the National Futsal Series in the Tier 1, the top flight, we've seen Bloomsbury draw 2-2 with Manchester's first team. That one was 1 apiece at half-time and all square at the end of it all as well. And London Helvetia running out comfortable 5-1 winners against Hartbury in the end. There's still 2 more games to bring to you. Make sure you switch over onto BT Sport 5 over on the red button from BT Sport 1, the extra channel. On the red button we have Wessex up against Loughborough Students next. That's a 25 past 4 kick-off time, and at 6:30 to round off the games for you today. York Vikings up against Bolton. Four minutes left to play here though. Sunderland have scored as many past Manchester B as they conceded in the reverse fixture. But they've kept a clean sheet as well, and it could be 7 here. There's an option to the right in Santiago. It's still Santiago, and he buries it home. It's 7-0, and it's the number 7 who gets the 7th goal.
Yeah, the last goal scorer, Lewis Can, turns provider. Good turn, gets out. Good supporting run by Santiago, just sets himself, and an accomplished finish.
Okay, that time in the Manchester net was bypassed. Sunderland really have been clinical. There to Can, who has been ever involved as this game has progressed. It's a foul there, which is going to result in the 10-metre spot kick. So an opportunity for number 8. There's a bit of a needless foul as well. I think at this stage it's just a case of frustrations creeping ever higher. And then an opportunity for Adam Richmond up against James Kay. Not simple, but can Richmond convert? It's saved by the goalkeeper, and it stays at 7. It was pretty straight in truth, and palmed behind by Kay in the Manchester B goal.
Yeah, nice height for the goalkeeper. Not sure he was really hit with too much conviction.
Yeah, not the sweetest of struck 10-metre spot kicks you're ever likely to see, but overall it won't matter too much for Sunderland. It won't matter at all in terms of the result. It's just a case of what scoreline that result is going to be. Can in the centre, but he wasn't found by Gunn. Sunderland, they have one more league fixture left to play this campaign to round it all off. They've still got to play Leicester. Leicester, who of course, as I mentioned earlier, have beaten Liverpool today. And for Manchester, it's a case of 2 more games of the aforementioned game in hand. Trent Valley and Sheffield are the 2 fixtures which remain. Barnes steps onto that one. It's swept goal bound, but turned away there by Richmond, who somewhat audaciously went for the empty net. Barnes forward again as Manchester now go in search of a consolation. The emphasis, of course, for Manchester as a club today would have been on the main fixture, the top 2 tie against Bloomsbury, but this wasn't in the plan.
Yeah, he's had a long day, Jake Barnes. On court sort of from 9:30 for the warm-ups.
Oh, Barnes there with the header. It wasn't Barnes, I beg your pardon, in the end it was Thomas Lindsay, and very nearly diverted that past his own goalkeeper. That one cut out by Barton. 2 minutes left on the clock, and then Sunderland's victory will be confirmed. Luna. Back to Matthias Luna, and it was sent in by Lindsay. Manchester with the corner. As we close in now on the final minute, it's Barnes again. There's a rare involvement for the goalkeeper in the second half, and he will go for goal. Barnes, to his credit, was back there as well, but it was collected by Barton. Sunderland will definitely want to keep hold of their clean sheet.
I think it's full credit to Manchester as well. They've kept going there. They are a young team, and I think they've stuck at the task. But today it's been Sunderland's day.
It certainly has. 7-0 up. It was probably beyond their hopes, never mind expectations before the game, but it's turned out that way on court.
And I think at half-time you probably wouldn't have been calling 7-0.
Yeah, just 1-0 it was at the midway point. And after a closely fought first half as well, in which Manchester, on the balance of things, you could argue, edged the game in that first 20 minutes, but were on the wrong side of the scoreline, having not been able to take their opportunities, and that same factor has continued into the second half as well. Cut out that time before reaching Hacking. The long-range effort is never going to threaten that time. Nice Nice long diagonal there up to Hacking, but again, it just didn't quite happen for him. It's been the case for Manchester from start to finish today. Blocked out again for another late kick in. With the final few seconds just to see down. That one's smashed over the crossbar. Referee on the near side there looked to be indicating for a corner, but the decision was given as the goal clearance. It won't matter anyway. And there's the full-time buzzer. Sunderland 7-0 winners against the odds going into it. But Manchester B well and truly beaten here this afternoon, and it's the home team who will take all 3 points from this league meeting. Adam Richmond with a couple of goals in amongst it, Alex Santiago likewise, and goals also for Scott Gunn, Lewis Can and Sammy Fredrich. That's how things then have finished. 7-0 to the University of Sunderland. There's the full-time score, and what a game it was for them. I'm sure boss Tony Loftus will be delighted with that one, Louis.
Yeah, I think as we said at half-time, 1-0 up, but couldn't see that. But they took their chances really well, and I think that was the key to the game in the end of the day, is the quality of the finishing, and this early opportunity which would have really have helped Manchester out, but a great block on the line, and then after that in terms of the goals it was just one-way traffic.
Yeah, well, Sunderland 1-0 up at half-time. These are the moments from the second half. It was a block on the line down one end from Scott Gunn, and then a 22nd minute strike just after the restart, just a little after his block down the other end, the Gunn.
It was just moments like that where the misjudgment, when to go in, when not to go in.
Yeah, and then really it was, as you say, Louis, only one-way traffic. Well, we'll leave you with the second half highlights, but an excellent game today for Sunderland. They get the job done on home turf. It finishes here, Sunderland University 7, Manchester B 0.